Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, January. It may as well be January, July 22nd. So this is my second take. I realized I was doing it in the video in portrait mode because, like a noob, I was in portrait mode for YouTube, and I know better than that. And they don't look right when you're doing them in portrait mode. So what's happened to my system? Well, yesterday I came out here last night and I noticed the pump was making a weird sound. Well, it had absolutely no water in the reservoir. I mean, it's just a 5-gallon reservoir, but it didn't have any water, and I'm like, how did I lose all the water out of the thing? Well, what had happened is somehow this bad mamma jamma right here is a bad bucket. The 1/4-inch tube was clogged. Well, there's no plant in there, so I wasn't expecting that one to be clogged. I check all the other ones that are here, not frequently, but I do check them to make sure that they're not being clogged by roots, because it's only 1/4-inch, but. And it's also been really super hot. I was just coming out here to check on them, make sure they weren't, the lettuce wasn't bolting, because I was out here and I did some harvesting. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll check in a couple days, because when you harvest, aphids. So when you harvest, you let them sit for a second so they can grow. Then with like my spinach, so that's gonna start to bolt, so I need to cut the head off of that and the head off of this one, so it doesn't bolt. Probably this one too. Yep, it's looking like it wants to. That guy's pretty okay, but all the leaves out here were kind of wilting and everything, and for a hydroponic system, I don't recommend this. I thought it was super cool, and it is super cool, and it does save a lot of space. But there are other, better, more efficient ways that don't clog up, and then rain nutrient-rich water down on your downstairs neighbors, because nobody likes that. But when I came out here yesterday, all of these guys were all sad and kind of wilty and everything, and we refilled the bucket, added nutrients into it, and they've perked back up. I'm still worried that I did have some that didn't survive. There were a couple of lettuces in this bucket right here that didn't survive, and they were just because they dried out and died. So, and then that tomato plant right there. He's probably about he's a good 4 feet tall right there. That's the one that's in the Dutch bucket system there. Then these other tomatoes, the Better Boy, the other patio tomatoes. Why don't I have all these other guys staked out? Well, I just don't have stakes. Oh, hey, look at that. He's got roots too, or flowers too. Well, I just gotta be careful with them. They'll be okay. Well, they may not be okay. These guys will be okay. They had water, so they didn't feel the heat the same way. But yeah, it has been in the 90s here, and it's pretty much a jungle of of things, and Time's got some flowers on it. That's not necessarily a good thing. Little cracky guy, he's doing fine. Let's take a look at his roots because it's easy for me to pull. He's doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. And then lavender growing up. Other lavender. This is the, we call this the bubble lavender. It's growing, and so there's the trying to grow an avocado tree. Maybe eventually, we'll see. Let's see if it germinates. If it doesn't, say la vie. But it's fun. Same with this potato has been here forever, and it's doing okay, I guess. It was completely dry, and I refilled it in the last video that I made that you weren't going to see. And then coming down here to my hydroponic, we're gonna see, do we have roots? Alright, so Time. We have little bitty roots. There it goes, focus. Little bitty roots on both of those guys. Little bitty baby roots. What about this guy? He's doing pretty good. I can't really tell if there we go. If it's getting roots or not. I mean, it's got some look like roots, so I'm gonna say it's getting roots because it's not dead. This Time boy, we're getting a little stringy roots there. You can kind of see them. I see them better in real life than in the video, but they're there. And then this little basil. Those little white tips in there are roots. So we're gonna let them. We're gonna let them sit in here. I do recommend this little bucket system here. This little bucket system here costs about 50. You can do it for about 50 bucks. The most expensive thing is the pump. So if you already have a pump, or if you already have a pump, or you find one super cheap somewhere, it doesn't have to be a very strong pump. It just has to be able to go up a foot. The little fountain pump is perfect for that. And then it has a 90-cent bulb sprinkler and like a $2 standpipe section. You can get those various lengths. And then I just directly put the sprinkler pipe on the thing, and yeah, it's a good little system. It works. I was surprised. I was skeptical, like, that's not gonna work, and it works. So anyway, here I am. Look at bird feeders. All right. Well, so I got some news, and it's good news. Come on. I'm backlit. It doesn't like being backlit. There we go. I got some news, and it's good news, but also not good news to some people. Good news for us, and that's important. Right around the so this year when we did our taxes on time every time, because that's just how we roll. We like to do our taxes as soon as we can file them. We're like they're there within that week, and we got an Oregon State refund tax check back. So we weren't expecting that because I have medical bills from, I had a stroke 13 or 14 years ago. And medical bills, and they went to the revenue for non-payment because that's what happens. And like, but I didn't know that what was going to happen. That's why I'm a big proponent of universal health care for people, because I was in between insurances at the time, and because I had just gotten married, and that insurance had stopped, and I went to my work and said I need to be on insurance, and they were like, great, it'll start next month. I'm like, but it's the first of this month. Like, no, if you had come in yesterday and not today, you would have had it for this month. I'm like, oh, great, fine, whatever. No big deal at the time. Well, it turns out it was a big deal. Because I had a stroke that same weekend. Anyway, long story short, we finally got that all paid off. And like, okay, well, we can look at trying to buy a house. This was February. Okay, so we looked at lenders, and we're like, what lenders do we need, and what other things we need? How much do we need for down payments and everything? And we just kind of taking our time, making sure we were doing the process right, because you need to do those processes right. And then the pandemic happened, and we're like, oh, well, what do we do now? Because obviously nobody's going to be open to look at things or whatnot. And then I'm like, well, then we noticed that the mortgage lenders and banks were still open because they are, and we weren't trying to take advantage of the situation. We were just trying to do what we would have been normally doing. And so we called the broker, and they're like, yeah, we can definitely make it work for you. So we did. We made it work, and we got a pre-approval to buy a house, pre-approved VA loan. And then we'd been looking for houses for quite some time. Just looking. I mean, it's a process. The biggest problem for us was the amount that they had pre-approved us for precluded us from moving to anywhere in the metro area, and I'm talking anywhere, like not even Gresham. Although we did look in Gresham, and there are some very nice houses in neighborhoods in Gresham. We just didn't see those houses because the houses that don't need work, and I'm talking like floors and ceilings and walls that completely need to be rehabbed, are non-existent for the prices that we had. So then we widened our search, and we're like, okay, where can we work? Where can Jen still work that we can afford, and still be able to come, into Portland if it's needed? So we're like, okay, well, we have St. Helens, and we have Vernonia, and we have a bunch of these other the Dalles and Salem, and we finally ended up finding a place down in Salem. So we put an offer in on a place. They came back to us and said, hey, do you think you can do any better with your offer? And we're like, we can go, to this much higher, which interesting story. So the day before we looked at this house, it was at one price, and then they dropped that price down $20,000. I'm like, cool. They really want to sell this. They must really want to sell this house. So we're like, we looked at it, we liked it. All right, let's put an offer in. So I put an offer in. But I thought it was a generous offer. But you know, there was another bid that came in, and so we went up to the price that they had originally asked for it, because we didn't feel like that was overpaying for it at that point, because I mean they had just dropped the price. It wasn't like, you know, we had run the numbers for that price of the house at that price, not at the new price. So we were able to get it for the original asking price, and they're throwing in some of our closing costs, which is fantastic, and keeping our I's crossed and our T's dotted, and our lowercase j's umlauted, or tilde. I tilde my j's. Not a dot. It's a little air comma, or half an air quote, half quote. I don't know what they're called. It's a little thing on top. Air apostrophe. That's what it's called. Apostrophes on top of my J's. Anyway, so yeah, we started that process. We're hoping to close on the house on the 18th of August, and we'll be moving shortly after that. It's a wonderful 5-bedroom, three-quarter bath house. It has 2 bathrooms that just have a shower and a toilet and sink, and then the other bathroom has a bathtub but no shower. So 3/4 bath for insurance purposes. That's what they say anyway. I mean, I guess you could maybe do some plumbing work and turn that one that has a bathtub with a shower, but it also needs other work other than the just putting in a shower head on that. Like, you have to redo the walls that are around it. Anyway, that's a long story. So look forward to those adventures of moving a bunch of plants. We're really excited that and if all goes well, you know, it's going to be an adventure for us. We've never owned a home. We've rented houses in the past, and we kind of know what we wanted, what we didn't want, so it's going to be an adventure. Moving to Salem is an adventure. Moving in general is an adventure, but moving to a place I've never lived or really spent a whole lot of time in is going to be an adventure. I mean, moving to the Beaverton, Aloha, Hillsborough area that we live in right now, we live right at, like, on the confluence of the 3, has been an adventure as well. So I don't want to dox myself too much. Anyway, yeah, it's been an adventure, and I just want everybody to know what's going on. I mean, it's one of those things in life. You make a decision and you follow through with it, and you hope everything works out fine, and I know it will, because it's just a thing. It's a good thing, and good things. I believe that if you work hard, and if you're kind and honest, that you will get good things will happen for you, and that's I think the most important things in life is you know, being a good person, being the change you want to see in the world, and growing for change. being that change that you want to see in the world, growing for change, all good things. Much love, everybody. Stay safe. Also, like and subscribe. Forgot to add that in the end, but you know, we always do. So yeah, like and subscribe, put the bell on if you want, you know, updates. Every Wednesday I'm posting, so be the change and much love. Bye.